What is the true state of democracy in Russia today? The answer, unfortunately, is not a positive one. The political landscape in Russia is a tumultuous arena, marked by an iron grip of control from the government, led by President Vladimir Putin. This control is not only exerted upon the political institutions and processes but also upon the voices of opposition. Dissent is not tolerated, and those who dare to challenge the government often find themselves facing serious consequences. In the face of such a harsh political climate, suppression of opposition voices is becoming the norm. The government's tactics range from discrediting opponents to outright intimidation. It's a world where the government's narrative is the only narrative, and any deviation from it is met with swift retribution. Yet, in this stifling environment, there was one man who dared to stand up, to raise his voice, and to challenge the status quo: Alexey Navalny. His story, his courage, and his tragic end are a testament to the state of democracy in Russia today, and a sobering reminder of the lengths to which some will go to maintain their hold on power. Alexey Navalny, a name synonymous with opposition and dissent in Russian politics. Born in 1976 in Putin, Russia, Navalny grew to become one of the most vocal critics of the Russian government. He was a lawyer by profession, but politics was his calling. Navalny's political career was not one of comfort or ease. It was a journey fraught with danger, as he fearlessly challenged the status quo. He was a thorn in the side of the Russian government, exposing corruption and advocating for transparency, a crusade that earned him both admiration and powerful enemies. His anti-corruption blog and the anti-corruption foundation he founded became platforms for revealing large-scale corruption within Russia's political elite. These revelations didn't just earn him followers, they also attracted the ire of those he exposed. Navalny's opposition to Vladimir Putin's regime was unwavering. His courage and tenacity were on full display in 2020 when he survived an assassination attempt. He was poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok, a clear message from those who wanted him silenced. But Navalny, ever the fighter, not only survived but returned to Russia, fully aware of the dangers that awaited him. His return, however, was met with his arrest and a subsequent prison sentence on charges widely regarded as politically motivated. He was sent to prison, a move that sparked international outrage and a wave of protests across Russia. Despite the risks, Navalny remained undeterred, his resolve only strengthened by the trials he faced. He stood tall, a beacon of hope for many Russians who yearned for a more democratic and transparent government. Navalny's relentless pursuit of transparency and accountability made him a target. His life may have been abruptly and tragically cut short, but his spirit and the ideals he fought for continue to echo in the hearts of many, reverberating far beyond the borders of Russia. The battle lines were drawn, Navalny on one side and Putin's regime on the other. Alexey Navalny, a charismatic lawyer turned political activist, was always a stark contrast to Vladimir Putin. From the beginning, Navalny's political ideology was rooted in transparency, democracy, and a fight against corruption. His bold and fearless approach made him a beacon of hope for many Russians who yearned for a more democratic Russia. On the other hand, Putin's regime was marked by an iron fist and an unyielding grip on power. His leadership style was characterized by tight control over the media, suppression of political dissent, and a focus on maintaining a strongman image. The two men were poles apart in their vision for Russia, leading to inevitable clashes. One of the most significant confrontations came when Navalny dared to return to Russia in January 2024, following his recovery from a near-fatal poisoning. The nerve agent Novichok, notorious for its use in assassinations, had almost claimed his life, but Navalny, ever the fighter, survived. Upon his return, Navalny was immediately arrested and sentenced to a lengthy prison term on charges that many saw as politically motivated. His arrest was a clear message from Putin's regime that dissent would not be tolerated. But Navalny, undeterred, continued to challenge Putin from behind bars, rallying support from both within Russia and around the world. But the battle was far from over. As Navalny languished in prison, the tension between him and Putin's regime continued to simmer. His fearless defiance and unwavering commitment to his cause only intensified the conflict. Navalny had long predicted his own end at the hands of the government, and that end came all too soon. In the confines of a Russian prison, Navalny met his untimely death. The circumstances surrounding this abrupt end to a life of opposition are shrouded in mystery and suspicion. Just a day before his death, Navalny was seen healthy and smiling in court, displaying no signs of physical distress. Yet within 24 hours, the world was mourning the loss of a prominent critic of the Russian government. Reports of his death have been met with conflicting narratives. The official cause remains unconfirmed, with Russian authorities providing no clear explanation. This lack of transparency has fueled speculation and accusations, with many pointing fingers at the Russian government for orchestrating Navalny's demise. The echoes of Navalny's past seem to haunt the present. The opposition leader had previously survived an assassination attempt in August of 2020, when he was poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok. His resilience and determination to challenge the government did not waver, even as he had long predicted his own demise at the hands of the state. Navalny's death has not only left a void in Russian politics, but it has also sparked a global outcry. His demise is seen by many as a stark reminder of the lengths to which some regimes will go to suppress dissent. In the absence of a definitive cause of death, the world is left grappling with the possibility of a politically motivated killing. Yet, amidst the sorrow and outrage, Navalny's legacy of opposition lives on. His courage and defiance have inspired many to stand up against the oppressive regime, fueling support for other anti-establishment figures. His life and death serve as a testament to the power of dissent, even in the face of grave danger. Navalny's death has sent shockwaves across the globe, raising questions about the true nature of his demise. As we continue to seek answers, we remember Navalny for his indomitable spirit and his unyielding quest for a more democratic Russia. His story is a stark reminder of the high cost of speaking truth to power and the enduring impact of a single voice against the tide of oppression. Navalny's death has left a void in Russian politics, but what does it mean for the future of the nation? The potential consequences of this loss are far-reaching and complex. Alexey Navalny was a beacon of opposition against the current regime, and his sudden death could serve as a stark warning to deter dissent and opposition, particularly as Russia gears up for the upcoming presidential election. Yet, there's another side to this coin. While the authorities may have hoped for a silencing effect, the opposite could also transpire. Navalny's demise could inadvertently fuel support for other anti-establishment figures, such as Boris Nadezhdin. This tragic event has sparked a significant reaction from the international community. Among the most poignant responses was that of Navalny's wife, Yulia Navalnaya. In the wake of her husband's death, she made an urgent plea to the world, urging unity against the oppressive Russian government and its reported aggressive actions. Her impassioned call to action was met with a standing ovation from diplomats, a testament to the global support for Navalny's cause. Navalny's death has also raised serious concerns about the state of democracy in Russia. His long-standing opposition to President Putin and his government made him a significant figure in the fight for a more democratic Russia. With his loss, there's an underlying fear that the space for dissent in the nation may shrink further. However, it's important to remember that Navalny's legacy is not one of silence, but of opposition and dissent. He was a voice that dared to challenge, and in doing so, he changed the landscape of Russian politics. This legacy, this spirit of defiance, is unlikely to fade away with his death. As the world watches on, the true impact of Navalny's death remains to be seen. One thing is clear: his legacy of opposition and dissent will continue to shape the future of Russian politics.